You're listening to Business Talk Radio, where we take business to the next level.
Rapping with Dr. Jacalyn connects you with experts from all over the world to help you take charge of your career, your business, and your life. Rap along with us. Visit drjacalyn.com to learn how to become a guest or a sponsor. And now, the doctor is in.
Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, good day, good weekend. It's Friday night and you are watching Rapping with Dr. Jacalyn, the variety show. The show is so much fun because my co-host is a sweetheart, has a great personality, knows a million people, and she just keeps things going, keeps it light. We've got a fabulous guest today too. I am your host, executive producer, director, and broadcast engineer, Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck, and we are thrilled to have you here with us today. I hope you'll engage with our program by putting comments in social media. We are live streaming on Business Talk Radio and Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch TV. Let me bring out Lori Mendelsohn. Welcome, my friend and co-host. How are you?
Jacalyn, I guess I'm not elegant this week. I was going to go put on my opera gloves, but you know.
You know what? I had like 30 seconds in between the last show and this one. I just, what's in there? Okay, earrings, dress. There it is. Boom. Done. So.
I love it. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing very well. I'm excited because, as you know, it's Friday night and it's beautiful here. I haven't been out all week. I'm really looking forward to going outside and just breathing the fresh air. And of course, looking forward to seeing you and having our guest, Andrew Mondia, who's with us, and just having a great conversation.
Me too. Thank you. Thank you all.
So,
how was your Mother's Day, by the way?
Mother's Day, we left the house. And we went over to the golf club where there's a restaurant there and we ate, which it was a weird experience because having been in isolation for all this time, and then, you know, you wear a mask when you walk up to be seated and they're wearing masks, and then literally 5 feet away, nobody has a mask on, and everyone, it's just a weird situation, but it was fine. How about you?
Good. I actually rested this weekend. So it was really, this past weekend, it was really good. Yeah. My mother is deceased. So, you know.
Yes, I knew that. I figured you were doing something, but you look rested, actually. You look great.
Well, thank you, Dr. Jacalyn.
Yes, yes.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm excited about our guest.
I am too. Before we bring him out, let me just spotlight you and just share with us what it is you're doing and where we can find you. And I know you're all over Clubhouse, but tell us what else you're doing.
Well, Jacalyn, I'm not doing 12 shows. The other things that I'm doing, I can't think of any more time in the day, quite frankly. I don't have enough time for all the things that I do, but I'm a dating coach. I'm a matchmaker. I have been on a few panels this week that have been very prestigious. Pretty happy about that. And now I've aligned myself with some new people to do some new shows on Clubhouse, which I'm really looking forward to. One is a heavy hitter matchmaker that specializes in men. And we're going to be doing a show, He Said, She Said, this coming week. And we're also going to be doing a show that is a psychic, a tarot card reader, an astrologer. And if you are having love problems, she can read your cards. And so we're kind of bouncing back and forth on the metaphysical and reality. So it's really going to be exciting. So thank you for asking.
I love that. That is exciting. You're always changing it up. And I say this all the time. And again, I'm not a paid spokesperson, but why aren't you on Clubhouse, people? Like, just go on Clubhouse. You don't know who you're going to meet and where it's going to go. It's truly amazing. Yeah. That being said, speaking of amazing, let's bring out our guest, Andrew Mondia. Welcome, Andrew. So nice to see you.
Thank you for having me, Dr. Jacalyn. And, you know, we met through Clubhouse. That's how we connected.
Yes, we did. I meet so many cool people over there, and it's wonderful. So Andrew is an international actor. He's an author. He's a speaker. He's a voiceover artist. But he's also overcome a number of things in his life that have really transpired into him helping other people. So it's a real pleasure having you here today.
Wow, I'm so grateful to be here with you and Lori and I'm just really
Yeah,
excited.
let's get to it. Okay. So Andrew, I'm going to spotlight you. Why don't you share a little bit? I introduced you. You obviously you've accomplished a lot of things. I like to start with what it is you're doing in your career now, and then let's go back to some of the things that you've already gone through in your life. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Well, we can. Well, right now I've actually because like I'm in Ontario, Toronto, Canada. We're on lockdown, and I've been healing from a brain injury, and I'm almost near the end of my recovery. I've been working on my my next phase in my life, and following my own intuition, which is a move to Montreal, and connecting with people in the entertainment industry through Zoom, through Clubhouse, and just you know also, one of my big projects is working on writing my memoir of how I survived wanting to die.
Andrew, thank you for sharing that. You also mentioned that you're recovering from a brain injury. Is that correct?
Yes, I'm recovering from a brain injury.
What
Would you?
happened? If we
Yeah.
can.
Yeah, last October, I have I was working I have a part-time job as a school driver, driving kids to school, and on my way to pick up the kids in the morning, I was in a car accident, and so this was back in October, and as a result, I got a concussion, and it was quite interesting because as much as it's sad that I was in the accident, it also got me to go inside myself and to look at myself more deeply. Because sometimes when we get into situations like that, it's the universe trying to send us a message, like we need to slow down. And this was about believing more in myself and owning the God in me.
Mm. So
Beautiful.
it sounds like this was a true awakening for you.
Yes, it was truly a wonderful awakening, and I'm just very grateful because it will help me more so into where I'm going from here on out.
And you had just mentioned to us that you thought maybe it was the universe giving you a signal that you needed to slow down. What was going on in your life at that time prior to the accident, if you don't mind sharing?
Oh, I don't mind. I was, starting to work on getting more of my acting career going, focusing on like finding an agent here in Toronto, and just like making steps to build the connections and to just move forward, and also get out into doing more speaking engagements and inspiring people, because I love to be of service to other. I like to bring light to the world, and sometimes I can be very comical through my stories. I just do it naturally. I'm not like a stand-up comedian, but I'm just I just being me.
Thank you for sharing that. Go ahead, Lori.
Yeah, Andrew, how did you get started in acting and then transitioning into comedy? Did you start at a young age? Were you schooled? What is your backstory?
Well, I was born in Canada, and I'm also Swiss, national. My grandparents lived in Switzerland. My grandfather, my paternal grandfather, I should say, he was the biggest influence in my earlier childhood. I had a really close connection with him and my grandmother because I was after I was born, my parents moved my older sister and me to Switzerland, and I was baptized, and they took care of me. My grandfather, he loved to play the accordion, he would sing, and so I was always like, from an early age, I was always into like singing, and I was like, I remember one of my first memories as a child was when I was 4 years old, and I took this ballet class at a local community center in Vancouver. And I even did it in grade 9. I was the only guy in the class, but when my grandfather passed away when I was 14, I made a conscious decision that this is what I wanted to do. Instead of just having it as a hobby, I chose to pursue it as a career.
Fascinating. Well, we're certainly glad that you did. That's wonderful.
So did
Yes.
you continue your dance education?
I little bit here and there. I'm looking at taking some maybe tap lessons, because tap seems to be more what is more geared for me. Although I have learned, like in grade 9 dance class, we learned a bit of jazz and ballet. I'm like, it's really, I'm like, there was a movie with Jason Alexander. I forgot what it was called, but it was to do with like gay guys dancing. And I'm like, I'm not like your typical ballet dancer because I have like a pear-shaped body, but it's just, it's very comical. I even have, if you go on, I have a clip of my stand-up comedy showcase that I did when I lived in London. I did a bit of dancing in that, and it's kind of funny just to watch.
So you've lived all over the world, Andrew?
Yes, I have.
And your favorite place being probably Switzerland, where you're from, but no?
Well, every country has had its unique, unique perspective. It's amazing what can happen when you travel. It's like, it's very enriching. And eye-opening to see different cultures. I mean, one of my, after I finished high school, I went to Egypt on my own, and it was just such an amazing spiritual place. I just was like, oh my God. I mean, it's just going to the country to visit and how I did it. I mean, I was living in Switzerland, back in Switzerland, because at that time I didn't get a visa to go visit the country, and I got it luckily when I was at the airport. But when I arrived, I had no place to stay because I was hoping to connect with a friend that was living there that I hadn't reconnected with. I didn't have a visa to go visit the country, and I didn't have any itinerary as to what I was going to do. When I got off the plane, there was a hotel, and I booked 3-night stay, a view of the Giza pyramids. I told the guy I didn't have a visa to come visit the country, and he goes and tells me, "Oh, no problem." He took me to a place. Instead of paying like $300, I only paid $20 for what I needed, and I managed to go and have a fabulous time in Egypt for a week.
Isn't that amazing what you don't expect, and all of a sudden opportunity shows up, and it's a beautiful day. I love it.
Yeah, that's a beautiful thing about travel is just being open to the experience rather than going personally. I don't like going on tours where everything is, between this hour and this hour, because you really miss out on meeting all the wonderful people in these countries and in these villages, and sharing these very rich experiences with people. When everything is so cut and dry, that's the best part of travel, I think, is having these really kind of unique, almost haphazard experiences.
And you can also change your mind at a moment's notice and go where your intuition is guiding you. I mean, it's just like, that's the beauty of like trusting in the unknown and trusting in adventure, not having things pre-planned. You just go and you just let the universe be your guide.
Yeah.
I think the best trip I ever took was one I took by myself, and I went over to Paris, and it's just great because you can go anywhere you want, do whatever you want. You don't have to check in with anybody. It makes sure everybody's happy. So yeah. I'm all about traveling alone.
Yeah, and it's really easy to get around here. By the way, speaking of Clubhouse again, there's a room called a club called Solo Travel. And it's terrific. And they just had a room on Italy this past week. So
I'll have to drop in there. That's great. Thank you. Thanks
you're
for
welcome.
Oh yeah, I've been to Italy so many times.
Too.
Me too.
Yeah.
I've got stories. We could go on and on, but unfortunately, we can't go on because we have to take a message from our sponsor. We're going to hear from Listening to Smile, which, by the way, before I play this clip, I didn't realize the significance of what it is they're doing and how it even impacts me and my business. So they are a company that produces frequency mindful music that has actual health benefits, but they also provide music that is commercially licensed. So, for example, this week I was going to teach a yoga class it's called Align Mat, and I realized I didn't have any commercially licensed music that I could play, because if you play from your phone, from Apple or Spotify, that's not a commercially licensed subscription. That's for you, the individual. Anytime you play music in a public forum, you have to have a commercial license. So I wasn't aware of that. And for all of you out there who have your own business and you're playing music from your phone, you could be fined. So let's take a look, and then we'll be right back. Listening to Smile.
The music, services, and programs that we offer at Listening to Smile are based off of scientific studies and research, along with our own personal experiences and testimonials from our clients and our affiliates that we work with worldwide. My own personal journey began in around 2010, and I tried to find relief from a chronic illness that I was diagnosed with. And the traditional ways of healing, they tried to fit me in this box, and that didn't work for me for so many reasons. And this led me to a self-discovery that I never expected to be so life-changing. Healing is multifaceted. It requires us to really look at our whole selves and to get really honest about what we see. I started to see movement towards recovery when I started to integrate yoga into my life daily. When I started to incorporate the music into all aspects of my life, including my yoga practice, my healing completely accelerated, and listening to Smile's music helped me to open my consciousness. I was able to open my eyes to new perspectives and make changes that I needed to make in order to recover. The most noticeable difference that I saw right away, like immediately after listening to my first frequency track, was how much my anxiety completely stopped. There was such a relief. My mind was actually quiet for the first time in so many years. I felt safe. I felt this comfort and this peace immediately. I continued to listen daily, and I found that amazing things were happening inside of me. I felt calmer, I felt happier, I felt like I was in this little bubble of peace. Physically, I started to see the changes happening. I started to see the things happening in my body that needed to happen for me to heal from my illness. I felt empowered, I felt hopeful, and something that I hadn't felt in years. This is why we at Listening to Smile integrate yoga and Listening to Smile music together. We see such a huge benefit from integrating the music into other modalities of healing. It accelerates these modalities, it steps them up to another level because it works on the brainwave states and the neural pathways in the brain. This is something that is not very easy for us to do alone at home, but the Listening to Smile music makes that possible. This is where real change happens. This is where the body and the mind sync up and work towards health of the being as a whole. That is true health, and Listening to Smile frequency music will get you there.
Every day it was the same old story. I worked hard to make sure no one noticed what I was dealing with, but my stomach never cared where I was. And the pain just kept coming. After too many close calls and even weight loss, I had to do something. The Crohn's and Colitis Foundation helped me realize what was going on and even helped me find a specialist. Don't hide your symptoms. Get help at spillyourguts.org.
Ladies and gentlemen, here it is, the most listened to radio on the planet. Even the other stations are tuned into.
You're listening to Business Talk Radio, where we take business to the next level.
Welcome back to Rapping with Dr. Jacalyn, the variety show with my co-host Lori Mendelsohn and our guest Andrew Mondia. Andrew is an international actor. He's a voiceover artist. He's an author, and he's also had an incredible journey in his life. Would you be open to sharing what happened with you from your childhood?
Yes. Can you hear me okay?
Yes. I can hear you fine.
Better. Thank you.
Yeah, I was like, there was a little squeak and I was wondering. And but anyways, when I was 13, I was going through a very traumatic period in my life. I was raised in a alcoholic household. My father was an alcoholic, and I was also bullied at school. And it was one particular day in May that things just came to a head for me, and I tried to commit suicide by burning myself, and I never really talked about it that much. It was something that I was a bit ashamed. And for the past 5 years, I've been sharing my story of how I survived suicide, because it happens to a lot of people, and it's not a topic talked about. And I even wrote about it in my one-man show that I performed at the Orlando International Fringe Festival.
Andrew, thank you so much for your courageousness and openness to sharing that on our program with our audience. We really appreciate you.
Yeah, Andrew, thank you for your vulnerability. That's very courageous for you to talk about that. So what, coming out of, Dr. Jacalyn, I'm just going to put myself on mute.
Yes, no problem. So Andrew, when you go back to that time when you tried to commit suicide, what or who helped take you from that state to the next positive step, the next step where you felt that you didn't want to die anymore?
Well, what I did is I think it was like the esoteric, the higher beings, and and they put fright into my sphere, and on top of that, when I look back, I wouldn't have succeeded in killing myself, to be honest with you, because I just took a duvet, doused it in gasoline, and put it down on this field, and I was going to go on to the flames. But that's not enough to really kill you, unless it's like severe burn. But I just carried on. I mean, it was like a moment in my life. I tried it, and so I just, I did talk to a counselor a couple of times, but other than that, it was I just moved on like nothing ever happened.
Andrew, that's amazing. I am so sad that you got to that depth, that was something that you had to do, and so happy that you're here today and were unsuccessful at that. So how did you lift yourself up from that horrific, life-changing experience? What was your pivot point that made you change from the darkest days of the soul, to quote Shasta Townsend, who's also a fellow Canadian, to propel you into acting and comedy and then becoming a world traveler? What happened, in that time?
I think a lot of it had to do with performing doing what I love to do, traveling, being around family, and it's just uh, it's just living. It's just moving one step in front of the other, and just following your dream. Because like it was like my suicide attempt happened a few months before my grandfather passed away, and and so it was like it was just like it was a moment in my life that is very pivotal, but it was also something that was an awakening. It also my mother realized that she needed to get help for herself uh, with uh, with getting support in how to handle situation living with an alcoholic, and so I inspired my mom as a result of my actions, and for myself, I just carried on. I mean, to be honest with you, it's just like I just move through life and I just go with what I'm guided to do, and um, like, and I just leave it into the hands of the universe.
Thank you for sharing that. Of course, we all know about Robin Williams, and there's other comedians and stars, celebrities who share that they suffer with depression, that they've had suicidal thoughts. Some of them have committed suicide, but they use their performance as a way of expressing their pain. Do you feel that that's what you do in your stand-up comedy, or maybe when you first started, Andrew?
I didn't like. I just enjoyed. For me, when I perform, I just love to see people turn their frown upside down, as we say, because for me to bring light into a person's life, it brings me great joy because we need more light and we need more laughter. We need to have the love come into us. It's like it's just it's that release from our everyday life that people have working 9 to 5, or well, it's not really 9 to 5 these days, but you get the drift of what I'm talking about. I just but it's like no longer is it 9 to 5.
24/7, it seems.
Yes, it's like maybe Dolly Parton needs to change her song. It's like we're working 24/7. Come on, it's like we're online on Zoom. We're keeping our distance, but we're making it work. So,
Yes. And also, you're an author, and I think you've co-authored something with someone else. Yes.
well, it was part of a collection of like experts. There's a couple of journals that I was a part of, and one of them is How Big Can You Dream? And I'm going to, if it's okay with you, Dr. Jacalyn, I'm just going to read the page that I submitted. And this is, as they say, dream big as it is limitless. Our soul calls out through our dreams to what our heart desires. As someone once said, if you can dream it, you can do it. Reach for the stars and take the steps to make those grandiose dreams a reality. Remember, a dream is a wish your heart makes. Once it takes hold, nothing can stop it. So remember, anything is possible when dreaming.
Beautiful.
And it's a journal, so people have every day there's inspiration.
Do you want to hold it up and show us?
Well, it's not. It's not a book. It's the proof from the image. So it's not going to work because of the lighting on my
Glare.
and the
Yes.
glare. So, but I'll post it on my Instagram so people can have a look at the page.
So Andrew, you lived in China. What brought you there?
Well, I was living for a third stint in Switzerland. This time a little bit longer because the second time was just a year, and the third time was almost 2 years. And when I was living in Switzerland, I got my TOEFL certification to teach English as a foreign language. I had, one of my dreams had always been to go visit China, to visit the Great Wall, to see the Forbidden Palace, to go visit Hong Kong, to go to Disneyland Hong Kong. I'm a huge Disney fan, and I thought, oh, I want to go to Hong Kong to teach English. But one of the challenges that I face is I did not go to university, and most of the teaching positions require you to have a university degree. And China was the only country to accept me to come and teach English, and so I ended up going to China to teach English for 10 months, and from there I got to do all these wonderful things. I even did an impromptu dance on the Great Wall of China, which is on my YouTube channel.
And your YouTube channel is Andrew Mondia, is that right?
Yeah, if you go that's how all social media, it's at Andrew Mondia / Andrew Mondia, and that's how you can find me on LinkedIn, Twitter. I don't use it so much, and Instagram and Clubhouse. So,
What room did you two meet in?
I can't remember. I just know that we connected. It's on Clubhouse. You go on to these amazing rooms. It's like you never realize who you're connecting with in the rooms, and you're just like, oh, I like you, and it's like, let's connect, and so.
Yeah, I spend a lot of time in the silent networking rooms and also the music networking rooms because you can do other things and yet see who's in the room and you don't have to speak. Whereas some rooms you go in, as soon as you go in, it's like, bam, you're on the stage and you have to speak. It's like, oh, wait a minute, I wasn't ready to speak. So I don't know if we met in a comedy room or we met in one of those networking rooms.
I briefly went in a couple of times, but I don't go into it because supposedly it's frowned upon going into the silent rooms. But it's great that we connected. That's the most important thing. And so
Yes.
that's all but it's like, if you go into when you go onto Clubhouse, if you go into smaller rooms, then you'll probably get more interaction. But if you go into the ones with a lot of people in the audience, then you can just have it, as someone says, it's 24/7, audio podcasting going on, and you can just be there listening while you're doing your work. I mean, you don't even have to go up on stage to talk. You can just be there listening. Sometimes they may ask you to join in, and and other times you might just want to go in and pop your opinion in. I mean. So it's just, it's a great platform to go on. I love Clubhouse, and now it's on Android. It's just, in US and Canada, and soon it'll be coming to the rest of the world on Android.
Agree. I'd like to ask both of you this because I've thought a lot about this. So obviously what I do is on social media and radio. And so, we read today that here in the States, the CDC has said that we don't need masks anymore. You don't need to wear masks in most places, indoors or outdoors. And of course, then we hear that in the 8 baseball players have been diagnosed with COVID, even though they already got their vaccination. So anyway, where I'm going with this is with Clubhouse being the huge platform, and obviously it's going to get bigger and bigger. How are we going to be spending our time? Are we still going to be with the phone and the computer, or are we going to be with people? Lori, what do you think?
Well, first of all, I want to say I don't wear my mask when I'm on Clubhouse. So I have no opportunity to get COVID while I'm talking or listening. Okay,
That is
so
good
let's
news.
get that out of the way. And also, I've been double vaccinated, so I'm good there. I personally think it's going to die down because I think that people are going to be so ready to go out and not spend so much time, glued to these devices anymore. and want to meet in person. I think there will be peak times, like in the evening, when people are home from work or, what have you. It'll probably dip in the summer and then start rising again in the fall, as it gets colder. I love it personally because it's helped build my business. I've met great people all over the world. Some of our guests that have come on the show exactly like you, Andrew. And I think it's going to dip for a while, quite frankly.
Yes. Yeah.
What do you think? Andrew, what do you think?
Yeah, Andrew, what do you think?
Well, it's, we won't know, but yes, because, I think everyone is so, like, just before coming on here with you guys, I was on an acting Zoom summit, and they mentioned how a lot of people are burnt out right now. And, Clubhouse was nice because it gave us something to do, but we also have to realize that, once we start to be able to go out and socialize in a more different way this time, most likely, we're going to probably see like peaks and valleys as to how often things are going to happen. I mean, people that work at home might still be on Clubhouse, but those that actually go to work to an actual job, those will be the people that will be leaving the platform and they only listen when they go to work and when they're on their lunch breaks and snack breaks. But, it's a great place just to make connections and network.
I think the one thing that I think about is, so the people that I was spending a lot of time with in person, I haven't seen, and I moved. So I don't even live there anymore. So the people I get together with are here on social media, and most people are not anywhere near where I live. Some are not even in the same country. So I think it's going to be very interesting because you want to keep those relationships going. And of course, there's certainly ways to communicate outside of these platforms, but I don't see myself letting go of the people that I've been spending the last, year plus with. So I think it's going to be interesting. It might be a combination of both. We'll see.
Yeah.
Who knows? But it's a great platform. It came out when it needed to come out. I mean, I never would have connected with people from all over the world. I mean, it's just like I connected with someone in China. The other day I connected with another person in South Korea late one night. I just was like up and it was just like, it's just an amazing experience. And you learn a lot, and also you make connections in the field of work that you do. So
yes.
Andrew, who's the most interesting person that you've met on Clubhouse other than Dr. Jacalyn?
What? She's the most. Yes, she is.
No, other than me, not me.
Other than Dr. Jacalyn.
Well, there's. Her name is Peggy Liu, and she's the one in China, and she's just, she's very, she's very committed to like change in a positive way and bringing like goodness to the world. And she has all these different rooms, like We Are the Future, and she even connected me to someone here in Toronto for doing healing work. His name's Brian the Healer, and so I think a couple of times a week he's on Clubhouse where he does a few healings, like 20-minute healing sessions on you. And I got to go and have, like, the first time I was there, I got to have a healing with him, and it was just quite interesting. There's like, so there's my Peggy Lou.
Peggy Lou. I like it. Well, we're actually at the top of our show, or the bottom of our show. Which is it, Lori?
It's the bottom of our show, like the bottom of the knife.
That's right, the bottom of our show. But it feels like the top because it's feels like we have so much more to discuss. So, Andrew, I hope you'll come back and see us. And we are really so grateful and honored that you shared part of your story with us. I know there's much more there. And we'd love to have you back on this show or one of our other shows. Would be terrific.
Well, next month I'll be on another one of your shows.
Oh, look at that. Okay.
So, but I'm happy to come back on this one so we can carry on a conversation and talk about something what's going on.
Please do. Please book again. And for those of you out there watching, if you'd like to be on our program, it's very simple. You go to drjacalyn.com, book your session. Andrew, again, what's the best way for people to get in touch with you? Remember, there are people on the radio who cannot see this beautiful purple banner.
Okay, yeah. The best way is on social media. My full name, Andrew Mondia, and I'm going to phonetically spell out each letter, so that way you're not wondering. So it's Apple, November, Delta, Roger, Echo, Whiskey, and my last name is spelled Mary, Oscar, November, Delta, India, Apple. So it's at Andrew Mondia. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, and that's also where you can find me on Clubhouse as well. And I look forward to connecting with you.
Fantastic. Thank you again for being here. We wish you a lovely weekend. We'll look forward to welcoming you back.
Thank you so much.
Bye, Andrew.
Hi, Andrew.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Lori, he was delightful, wasn't he?
He was. Yes, he was. There's a lot more to learn about that man. He's so brave to share his story. Really nice to see.
Yes, and thank you to people like Andrew who come on the platform. We had somebody on Stories of Hope, Inspiration, Overcoming Adversity who was talking about depression and also suicide. You're not alone, okay? No one's alone. If you reach out, there's so many ways. Clubhouses, we just talked about, lunch club, pick up the phone, text something. Don't stay by yourself. If you need to talk to someone is there for you. And we love to have you on the show to share your story. And I think people feel good about sharing their story.
Yeah, I want to say that the probably the most influential person I've met on Clubhouse is a woman named Dr. Renee Mudry, and I'm trying to get her on the show. She just formed a Clubhouse room with another physician, and it's called the Emotion Club. And in 2 weeks, she has over 2,000 followers. And every day we are talking about, like today was anger. We were talking about male mental health issues. We were talking about depression. I mean, the litany, the list grows and grows and grows about emotion. And people come and share and want to share and get support.
Definitely.
So it's really a beautiful thing. And yes, you are not alone.
And it's actually good for your health if
Yes,
you get it out and you share whatever it is. And then you're helping somebody else, which is what we all want to do.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So Dr. Jacalyn, it's Friday night.
Yes, it is. And the sun is coming down on me. My green screen, half of it is lit up with sun. I keep moving the computer over slowly. I'll just stand over here and we can't see the sun.
You're terrific. Thank you.
What do you have going on for the weekend?
I got a couple of Clubhouse rooms I'm doing, and I am taking a road trip with my friend Dave tomorrow. So we're going to Indianapolis, Indiana.
How far is that from you?
I'm sorry?
How far is that from you?
3.5 hours.
Okay.
And I'll report to you what happens.
Okay, good.
I'll leave it at that.
Okay, we're moving on. That's great. Great.
Yeah.
Well, I hope you have a fabulous time. You'll let me know how it goes.
Thank you. I will, Dr. Jacalyn. Thank you. Thank you.
And how can we get in touch with you, lovely lady?
Smartfunnysingle.com. Lori at smartfunnysingle.com. I'm on Instagram under smartfunnysingle. I'm on Clubhouse under Matchmaker Lori. And I'm on Facebook under Lori Mendelsohn under Smart Funny Single. On LinkedIn under Lori Mendelsohn. I should change my name because it's getting redundant. So anyway, you can find me all over. My number's written on a bathroom wall. The number is 8675309.
8675309. 8675. All right, enough. Okay, that is fabulous. I wish you a blessed weekend. I look forward
You
to
too, Dr. Jack.
next week. All right, take care.
Have a good
Bye.
week.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone. I laugh about it, but you see the sun is coming in on my green screen, so I can't broadcast after a certain time because it ruins the professional atmosphere I'm trying to create. I have a couple of announcements. The first is, believe it or not, after hearing about this for several months, we are going to be pre-selling my book, which is Behind the Green Screen, How to Succeed in the Live Broadcasting Business. And I will show a picture of the book cover. It looks like this. And this is my story of how I left the corporate world during the pandemic. And I built this broadcasting platform with one show that started out on Zoom. And I had a producer and a broadcast engineer. And now we have 16 shows, and it's all me. So it's my how-to, along with some of my personal stories of things that I have lived through or gone through during my corporate career. So May 19th will be pre-selling, and I'll have more details about that after I meet with my book coach and editors on Monday. Our other announcement is that our new show, Celebrate Great Britain Royally Rich Show, which I think this is our 5th show coming up this week on Wednesday. We are changing the time from 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to 10 a.m. So that will be 3 p.m. British Summer Time. And we're doing this because the conversations are just so exciting. There's numerous guests on the show. I think last week we had 4 guests. And we want to just make sure that every guest has enough time to share their story, because we have another show right after that, the Underdog Show. So there are all the announcements that I have. But again, we have 16 shows each week. Next week, we will be starting with our Align Mat. ALIGN-MAT show. I tried to do it this week, but as I mentioned before, we didn't have commercially licensed music. And of course, we're partners with Listen to Smile. They do have the music, but we didn't have the right adapter to play it through so that it would be professional sound. And I want everything to be professional. So I hope that you'll come back and see us again. Our shows are all Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. You can find out more. You can book your session. You can be a sponsor. You can actually have us produce a show for you. All the information you need. It's so simple. Go to drjacalyn.com. You can learn how to watch our shows there as well. If you happen to have missed this show or any of our shows, you can also go over to our YouTube channel, Dr. Dr. Jacalyn, Jacalyn LLC. And you can watch all of our shows there. Please do subscribe while you're there. A final announcement, unless I already said final, it's final. We really love when you come on the show and help us spread the word. You're here for an interview. Let your network know. After the fact, go over to YouTube, find your show, copy and paste the link onto all your social media sites. Let the world know what you're doing. You're bringing so much value. Why not spread the word and help everybody learn about the things that you're doing in this beautiful world? Thank you again. Stay safe, be kind, lift one another up, and thank you again for your support. We really appreciate you. Bye.